Some of the world's most collected watches cost less than a second-hand iPhone, yet collectors guard them with more passion than pieces 5 times the price. Ask any enthusiast, and certain models like the discontinued Seiko SKX, a field-ready Hamilton, or even a plastic Moonswatch show up again and again in collections that also include luxury Swiss icons. Why do these affordable watches become permanent residents while others get flipped? The answer lies in 5 powerful forces that leave expensive marketing in the dust. Stick around, because we will tease 3 categories you will see over and over: gateway icons, cult collaboration magnets, and microbrand drop watches. By the end, you will know which watches under $1,000 become long-term residents in real collections. Section: Foundation and Gateway Icons. The collector forces. B-roll cue. Wrist roll macros and loom shots, quick on-screen labels that read why it is collected. Certain watches become fixtures in collections, showing up again and again in forums and lists, regardless of shifting trends or price tags. Their staying power is not random. It is shaped by 5 forces that define what it means to be truly collected. The first force is iconic design. Some watches are instantly recognizable by case shape, bezel, or dial. These pieces stand out across a room, their look unchanged by decades of fashion. They do not just follow trends, they set them, and their silhouette becomes shorthand among collectors. The second force is story. Some watches carry history on their dials linked to military missions, space exploration, or cultural moments. Others build legend through decades of adventure or a single remarkable event. That sense of heritage gives a watch depth, making it more than an accessory. It becomes a conversation piece and a link to something bigger. Community support is the third force. Watches that inspire active forums, modding scenes, and aftermarket parts tend to last. When collectors can swap stories, share advice, or find replacement parts, a model stays alive long after its official run ends. Mod culture and online groups turn certain watches into ongoing projects rather than static objects. Wearability is just as important. The most collected watches are not just admired, they are worn. They fit comfortably, suit different occasions, and feel right whether on a hike or at a desk. That versatility ensures they are not kept in a box, they are actually used. The fifth force is value. Some watches offer more than their price suggests: a mechanical movement at a quartz price, a bracelet that feels premium, or loom that glows brighter than expected. Collectors talk about enjoyment, not just specifications. Prices vary widely by market, condition, and whether a watch is pre-owned. Many favorites are found pre-owned, sometimes at surprising prices. What unites them is not investment value, but how these 5 forces make a watch feel essential, no matter the collection. B-roll cue. Forum and recommendation vibe, mod parts and strap montages to illustrate community and wearability. Section: Foundation and Gateway. Icons. Gateway Seikos. No matter how far collectors climb, certain Seikos stay put in their watch boxes, worn, modded, and recommended for years. These watches become permanent residents in collections. B-roll cue. Wrist roll macros, loom shots, close-ups of scratched cases. The SKX007 and SKX009 remain the mechanical dive watches that launched 1,000 collections, both discontinued yet beloved. They are commonly found pre-owned under $1,000, wearing their ISO 6425 diver credentials like a badge. B-roll cue. Bezel close-ups, pre-owned SKX shots, bracelet swaps. The real magic happens after the sale. Modding communities exploded around the SKX, building a world of custom bezels, sapphire crystals, and bracelets. Names like Namoki Mods and Crystal Times fill forums with endless options, turning a stock SKX into something personal. B-roll cue. Mod parts montage, strap swaps, forum recommendation visuals. Even after collectors move on to pricier divers, the SKX lingers as a weekend favorite, scratches, swapped straps, and all. It is the mechanical gateway that many never sell, only upgrade. For everyday wear, the modern Seiko 5 sports line has taken over as the never-sell Seiko. With prices ranging from $150 to $300 and dozens of dial variants, it is the watch that fits any wrist and any mood. B-Roll Q, Seiko 5 wrist shots, dial variety montage, everyday wear scenarios. Collectors buy one Seiko 5 Sports, then another, chasing a favorite color or case shape. The 2019 relaunch only fueled this, and the Seiko 5 became the reliable beater that shrugs off knocks and keeps ticking. Then there is the Alpinist, especially the green dial SAR BOA-110 and its successors. This is the Seiko that moves between a desk and a mountain trail without missing a beat. Collectors love its versatility, a field watch route with dress watch polish, and an unmistakable green dial. B-Roll Q, Alpinist on leather and on a strap, green dial close-ups, hiking and suit footage. Even after the original was discontinued, demand for the Alpinist stayed strong, with pre-owned prices holding steady under $1,000. Its story spans decades and countless forum posts, giving it an identity that sticks. These three Seikos are not just affordable, they are shaped by community, story, and wearability that keeps them in rotation. If you want more lists built from actual collector behavior, not just marketing, subscribe for the next picks. B-Roll Q, forum recommendation vibe, mod parts and straps montage, split screens of watches on wrist, heritage to hype landscape, Swiss and heritage picks. Switzerland's influence on the world of affordable collecting goes far beyond price tags. When collectors want a watch that feels like it could have come from a vintage army surplus or an old-school sports club, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical stands out. It is the field watch archetype, hand-wound, slim, and ready for anything. The H50 movement inside gives nearly 80 hours of power reserve, so it keeps ticking through a long weekend off the wrist. Its brushed steel case, no-nonsense dial, and tactile winding ritual turn a simple watch into a daily habit. For many, this is the first Swiss mechanical they buy, and it is the model people recommend without hesitation. B-roll, wrist roll macro of the khaki field, brushed case close-up, winding action, loom shots, straps, and wear shots. If you are drawn to retro sport style, the Tissot PRX brings the integrated bracelet look into reach without the luxury markup. The quartz version lands just under $400, while the Powermatic 80 automatic stays well below $1,000. Both channel the spirit of late 70s sports watches with slim cases and bracelets that hug the wrist. The PRX shows up everywhere in enthusiast circles because it is often the first Swiss sports watch people buy, and its bracelet comfort and dial variety make it a crossover hit. Whether it is the blue dial or the textured silver, the PRX feels like a watch that should cost more than it does. Collectors rarely stop at one. B-roll, PRX on bracelet versus Bambino on leather, split screen, bracelet close-ups, blue dial, and textured silver shots. Then there is the Bulova Lunar Pilot, a chronograph with real lunar pedigree. In 1971, astronaut Dave Scott wore a Bulova as his personal backup during Apollo 15 moonwalks after his NASA-issued Omega failed. The modern reissue brings that story to the wrist, with a bold case roughly 43.5 millimeters across and a high-accuracy quartz movement for under $700 new and often less on sale. The sweeping seconds hand and space race design details give collectors a conversation piece few other watches can match. The Lunar Pilot is not just a nod to history, it is a big, wearable piece of history, with wrist presence that stands out in any collection. B-roll, Apollo-era space montage, Bulova close-ups, chronograph pushers and case profile, wrist shots showing presence. These Swiss and heritage picks prove that craftsmanship, story, and daily enjoyment do not have to be reserved for high-end pieces. They satisfy the same collector forces, iconic design, genuine history, and community support, at a tier where the fun-to-value ratio stays unbeatable. B-roll, forum and recommendation visuals, strap and mod montages, hands-on shots, and collectors wearing pieces. Heritage to hype landscape, culture magnets, and smart buying hype in watch collecting often starts far from tradition. The Moonswatch launched on March 26, 2022, and it is a study in modern frenzy. Swatch and Omega created 11 color-coded models, each tied to a planet or a mission. Priced just above $250, the Moonswatch became a phenomenon, traded, hunted, and shown off online. It uses a bioceramic case and a quartz movement, and it echoes the Omega Speedmaster, but the real draw is the chase. New variants like Moonshine Gold and Pink Moonphase set off lines and social media storms. The Moonswatch is not about specs, it is about joining a moment that feels bigger than the watch itself. B-roll, crowd lines, social media posts, product close-ups, bioceramic case details. The Casio G-Shock GA2100, nicknamed Casio, rides a different wave. For $99 to $150, it delivers an octagonal case that nods to luxury, with G-Shock durability. Owners collect them in every color, then swap the resin parts for metal mods, turning a simple watch into a personal badge. Modding has created a small ecosystem, with shops building new cases and bracelets. The Casio is the watch you wear everywhere without worry, and it still earns respect from enthusiasts. B-roll, Casio on wrist in multiple colors, resin to metal mod sequence, parts and bracelet close-ups. The Orient Bambino is a formal staple. Priced between $150 and $350, it is a classic automatic with a domed crystal and an understated dial. The Bambino answers for weddings, interviews, or any moment that calls for a suit. With dozens of variants, collectors often own more than one, drawn to its balance of style and value. B-roll, split-screen PRX on bracelet versus Bambino on leather, domed crystal macro shots. Microbrands like Studio Under D0G and Brew fuel the thrill of the chase with limited drops, usually under $1,000. Scarcity turns each release into an event, and owning one means joining a tight-knit community. These small runs create a feeling of insider access, and collectors buy them for personality rather than resale. B-roll, unboxing sequences, order confirmations, launch countdowns, online community posts. Smart buying starts with 5 essentials. First, choose what you will actually wear. Second, experiment with straps, because bracelets and straps change the whole personality of a watch. Third, consider maintenance and how easy it is to service. Fourth, weigh new versus pre-owned, especially for discontinued icons that are often found under $1,000 pre-owned. Fifth, do not chase hype that annoys you. These guidelines help keep collecting fun and sustainable. B-roll, quick checklist overlay, close-ups of bracelets and straps, service shop footage, pre-owned marketplace screens. Which watch gets the most wrist time in your collection? Right now, more collectors are turning to watches under $1,000 for meaning, not status. As new models launch and communities grow, these pieces become symbols of taste and connection. No luxury price tag required. The story is not about cost, it is about what stays on your wrist. Share yours below.